All right, I'm back for another video talking about a topic that people have some big feelings about. And I'm just going to talk to you like you're a friend of mine, and we're sitting in my guest bedroom having a conversation, and I'm sharing my honest thoughts and my honest feelings on this topic. I'm not here to say that my way is the way. I'm not here to defend myself, and I'm not here to argue with you if you feel differently. I would be very curious to have respectful, kind dialogue in the comments below based off of what I say in this video and what you think on this topic, but I won't argue, I won't fight, and I won't defend myself because I have reflected on this topic quite a bit. And this is my stance. This is my current stance, which is, of course, always subject to change. I'm always allowed to change my opinion. But this is how I feel right now. And I feel this way right now, not carelessly, but because of, like I said, lots of thought and intention going into it. So, my approach to parenting is to include Cedar and all my future children into my life. And truly, I feel that that is how parenting has always been done and is perhaps how parenting is best done, right? If you visit so many families all over the world, you will find mothers and fathers going about their life, doing their things, doing their work, whether they work in the home or out of the home, and the children follow along, right? I read a book recently. I can link it below. It's titled Hunt, Gather, Parent, and I loved it. Such a good book. I really recommend anybody read it who has children or who will plan to have children or who has grandchildren and wants to maybe help raise their grandchildren. It was just such an insightful book about a woman who visited these different cultures around the world to learn how they parent and how parenting is done with so much more ease and so much less stress, so many less fights and tantrums, and um, parents, specifically moms, who are exhausted and stressed and overwhelmed. It's so different around the world than it is here in the United States. And there's so many reasons for that. And that could be another video all on its own. But one of the things is that the book talks about is that it's you as the parent bringing the child into your world, right? We're raising adults. And so we bring children into our adult world and they participate in it, right? They participate in us preparing food and doing house chores and going on hikes and going to the grocery store and so many different things. In our world and our culture here in the United States, we've really separated children from parents. And the parents wait till the children go to bed and then they do all the chores, or the parents put their children in front of the television or an iPad, and the parent goes about doing their work. And it's, or the children go to school or to daycare and the parent goes and lives in their world. And I'm not criticizing these things. These topics are so incredibly nuanced. And like I said, we have a culture and a society that just has a lot that could be changed and reflected on. And so there's so many pieces to this. And so I'm talking to you like I would a friend, just sharing my perspective seriously without any judgment for parents who make any of the choices that I just listed. But the point being is that children and parents live quite different lives, and that's very modern, very new, and I think in a lot of ways causes a lot of disconnect and stress and fights and things that are not harmonious and whole and easeful in our homes. And so the book talks about bringing the children into our world. And so I bring Cedar, my current son, into my life. He's part of my life. He's integrated into all the things that I do. The really only thing that I do that he's not a part of is when I make these videos or I do coaching calls, because I am choosing to give my full and utter attention to the person I'm talking to or to the video that I'm making. But otherwise, he's fully there with me. I have him in the kitchen with me. I have him making recipes and developing recipes with me. I have him cleaning with me. I have him going for walks with me. I have him everything. Oh my goodness, everything. I will answer emails with him on my lap. I do content creation with him by my side. And so this feels very natural to me and beautiful. It feels beautiful to be able to go about my life in the way that I have before Cedar was here, doing the work that is deeply meaningful for me to do, doing the things that need to be done around the house, taking care of business things. And Cedar is a part of that. He's a part of my life. And that works for us. And we're happy. And he's a joyful, happy little guy. And I love having him be a part of my life. I think that when it comes to sharing my child online, there's people who will leave angry comments that will say things along the lines of using your child for content or for money or exposing your child to the evils of the internet. And I think that there's a big difference between exposing, exploiting, and sharing, right? Just sharing your life in a very wholesome, beautiful way. There are things about my child that I don't share online and that I never will share. And I imagine that as he gets older, he's 12 months right now, that he will very naturally not be in my content as often because he will not be on my hip all the time, right? He'll go outside and play, he'll go over to friends' houses, he'll go do all sorts of different things as he grows and matures. And so he won't always be there, and that will be good. And I will be glad for him to grow in that way. And I will miss him to be always by my side. And in some ways, I will be glad to not have him be always by my side because, as we know, it can be difficult to always have a child in our arms and by our side. But I think we have to be careful, again, between seeing someone sharing their child online and saying hurtful things like they are exposing or exploiting or using their child, when in reality they are just sharing their life, and their child is such a big, beautiful, essential, central part of their life that it would be so odd, in a sense, to not include their child. And again, it's a perfectly valid choice to not choose to show your child's face online. But I also think that it's a perfectly valid choice to choose to do that. And in fact, many people do. Many people post pictures and videos on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And it seems like, a lot of people don't have problems with it up until a point where maybe your full-time job is as an influencer or a content creator, and then all of a sudden this is a terrible, horrible thing that you do. But they also have pictures and content of their child on their page. So it's sort of like, if it's so evil and so horrible to expose our child to the eyes of social media, then don't do it ever yourself. So I always find that a little bit odd when I click on someone's profile and they have pictures of their child after they just told me that I shouldn't share my child online. But yeah, I think too, another point that I want to make is that I have found so much knowledge and wisdom and insight from other parents who share their parenting, and just share their child online and the ways that they live and the things that work from them, that have enriched my life so much. It's taught me so much. It's inspired me so much. Such a beautiful relationship to witness between that mother and child, or the ways that they homeschool, or how they go about their day, or how they prepare food in the kitchen together, or how they garden. And I find that to be something that has helped me, and encouraged me to be a better parent. And so I would like to think that I am doing the same, right? That people might watch my content and my relationship with my son on there and the ways that we live our life, and will be inspired and educated. And it will be a beautiful thing. And I do believe it is a beautiful thing, which is why I share. Um, and so I wouldn't want to not put that beautiful thing out into the world, because some people don't think that I should, or there's scary, evil people out there. You know, I think that in a lot of ways we've gotten so. Do you like my stream of conscious? Are you following me? This is very much how I would be talking to my best friend sitting here with me. I'm just going on and on and on for 11 minutes, and then I'll give her a chance to talk eventually. I think that we've gotten so very fearful and so very protective of our children in like very recent times. Because I think back to my childhood and things that I did in my childhood that I see parents criticizing, judging, threatening other parents around online, that I think that was totally normal and healthy and good. Like things like sleepovers, um, or playing outside, like going down the street to the neighbor's house. And I used to play street hockey on the road every day when I was, I don't know, 13, 14, 15, older, not two, but we would play on the road in our development with the neighbor kids. And when the cars would come, we'd all grab the nets and run to the side of the road. And when the car went by, then we'd bring the nets back and we'd resume playing. And we would just be outside playing around the neighborhood, running around unattended, no parents watching, and we were safe. And that was good. And the sleepovers were safe, and that was good. And I could list other examples of things I'm thinking of, but my point is, it just feels like we are so afraid of so many things these days. And of course, that's not to say that there aren't things to be cautious of, or intentional around. Like, my parents didn't just send me to random people's houses to have sleepovers. These were people that they knew, and they knew for years, and they were friends with, and they trusted. And that was such a beautiful part of my upbringing, to go and have sleepovers with my friends. Those are some of the best memories I have as a child. And I think it's sad that some children won't get that. And again, I'll say it one more time, I'm not here to judge another parent for choosing to not allow their child to have a sleepover. I understand that things happen at sleepovers that are not okay. I understand these things, and I really do. And I respect whatever choices you feel to make. But I also think that for me, speaking for myself and how I am raising and will continue to raise my child and the one in my belly, is not in fear. I will not live my life in fear of who's watching me online. And that doesn't mean I won't be cautious and intentional with what I share, because I am very much so. And I will not be terrified to allow my child to play outside and to go to friends' houses, and to be autonomous, and to explore, and to live his life as a child and as a human being who deserves to live and have experiences. And that's just that. That's just my opinion on the matter. Again, that doesn't mean I'm reckless. That doesn't mean I don't consider things. That doesn't mean that I say yes to everything. It just means that I choose to not live in fear. I choose to not worry about every little possible thing that could go wrong. I just choose not to live that way because that's not a way that feels freeing or happy or healthy for me to live. So at this point in my life, I feel that I love to share my child online. And if that's exposing him, sure. But I love to do it. It feels very natural for me to do. You know, children have been working alongside of their parents, like I said, from the beginning of time, and not even that long ago, right? There's kids, who, 8-year-olds who work in their family bakery, 8-year-olds who help on the family farm. This has always been how things are, and we live in a world now where I guess we make content and put it out there. And that's the thing that we do. And so my child is part of that work with me. And I'm grateful that he is. And I'm grateful that I can do this work and that he can be a part of it. There's this one little final story. There's this little boy at this local farmer's market that I go to who works in the organic the organic soap shop, and like herbs and stuff. It's a really cool little shop that's there. And there's this little boy who's quite frequently behind the register. I mean, maybe he's like 10 or so. And he is the cutest freaking thing I have ever seen. He's so charming, so knowledgeable about the products that they have there. There is no adult in sight. I have no idea who actually owns that shop. But this little 10-year-old boy is the one who works there. He is working there, running the register, and he's such a good salesman. Like, I will ask him a question about something, and he'll tell me this whole story about it. He'll tell me about the product, he'll tell me about this or that or the other thing. And I have bought things at that store. It's a really good sales tactic, actually. Whoever owns this store, I have bought things at that store because that little boy has just inspired me and talked me into things that I would not have bought had it been an adult, who would not have been able to cast the same sort of spell on me as this child. But I just think it's again, it's so beautiful. It's so natural. And I hope that he will be able to continue to work there and no one would report him. And I would love to see more children behind registers, right? Learning to count money, learning how to work a register, learning how to be a salesman, learning how to engage in intelligent, meaningful dialogue with parents. These are amazing life skills. And to think that he would be better off not working, not being exposed, or not doing child labor, and being at home on the video games or something, is just so very silly to me. It's so silly. And so I love that little store that little boy works at. And I am so excited for his future because of how well spoken he is and how many skills he has been acquiring from working there. And I applaud his parents for allowing him and encouraging him or insisting on him, whatever it is, working there. I think it's so beautiful. So anyway, maybe this was a little bit too chaotic in the stream of consciousness. I hope you followed. Like I said, I'd be curious for your thoughts below, respectfully, kindly. And yeah, okay, that's the end of this video. I guess I'll see you when I make another video.